You're listening to FFOP Radio.
Reach the
and welcome to the show. My name's Dave, and this is a Fistful podcast from FFOPradio.com. Back for another great week. Let me introduce you, as usual, to my co-host, all the way from the Reno Sparks area. And up first, we have one Mr. Andrew Bergevin.
Hello, if you couldn't hear that, that was the hip-hop hillbilly driving by my goddamn house again.
Oh, he's visiting you now? I feel like he's kind of like the Easter Bunny.
Yeah, the hippity-hoppity hillbilly. Mm-hmm. No, like around this time every night, there's a guy that drives by with his base ablazing, comes to my complex, parks in the guest parking right there. His rear windshield says, "Send nudes, I eat ass."
All right. You know what? Here's the thing. If he's going to make a big request, he better be able to cash a big check. And he has.
And he's got an Instagram, but it's all just pictures of his car.
Oh my God, you follow? No, you don't follow on Instagram, right? Obviously.
No, his Instagram is on his windshield as well.
I feel like I don't want to push this guy on air, but off air, I definitely want to take a look. I want to look at is there a picture of his face? I want to see the face of the man who will eat ass.
If you send nudes.
If you send nudes.
You gotta send nudes.
I want to see that man's face. I want to look into his eyes.
And love him.
Anyway, that's Andy. Also in studio here and on the soundboard, we have Chris over there on the couch.
Right.
There she is.
There I am.
So, guys, here's what we got. Everybody listening, this is going to be sort of like a themed episode. I don't know what to call it. It's not a very special episode. I'm calling it The Big Pitch.
Okay.
So basically what we're doing here for, obviously, Andy, you know, Krista, you know, but for the uninitiated, the audience, movie theaters are probably going to be a thing of the past soon. And
no, not if you argue with, oh God, what's his name? Not Nolan North.
What's his name? Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
Well, whatever your opinion is, things are changing for the worse or for the better. And I think it's time to start pitching movies because people are going to start looking for smaller budget movies because they're not going to the Avengers, whatever, you can make $200 million off a movie if it's in theaters. But if you can't get to the theaters, they're going to start banking on lower budget movies. So it's time to start pitching. We need to sell these $5 movies. Yeah. And we also threw in some video games because for every bargain movie bin, there's a bargain video game bin.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. Although I don't want to overhype it. One of my games I would buy this, tongue in cheek and everything, and it's all hilarious. But somebody makes this game, I am in to the tune of at most $35. Anyway, so what we're going to be doing for you guys is pitching you basically a movie, and then the name I've got that I haven't thought a better one for is MovieBacks. So here's the thing. For all you millennials and all you young kids back in the day, if you wanted to buy a movie, you either had to go and rent it or you had to buy it, and it had to be a piece of physical media you'd bring home. So
we are millennials, David.
Well, okay, so younger than whatever, Generation Z.
The Zennials?
Whatever. All you tiny kids listening, and I know you're listening. All you 16 and 17-year-olds listening to us complain. Anyway, whatever. Moral of the story is back in the day, you had to buy physical media. You had to go to a Blockbuster, I'm using air quotes, video.
Or a major video or a...
Hollywood Video.
Oh, God, a Hollywood Video.
Any of your little mom and pop rental shops, there were a million of them. Moral of the story is you would go in and you wouldn't know anything about the movies that were on the new releases wall. You'd pick up a case, you'd turn it over, and on the back would be a synopsis.
And it was usually a bad synopsis. I worked at Blockbuster.
Yeah, typically they weren't great because they were written by people trying to sell a movie, not by someone necessarily trying to describe a movie correctly. So we got some movies here for you, and we've written up, a back of the box blurb.
Do we want to do the blurb first or the title first?
That's what I'm going to ask you, because it might be, I don't know, it might be a nice giveaway to be like, here's the movie, and then you okay, and then you flip it over. But let's say you're just flipping a movie over without reading the title. Which I'll let you decide, Andy.
But here, let me start you off. This one's an easy one.
Okay.
And I'll read you the back
Easy
first,
one.
and then I'll tell you the title.
Okay.
From writer Adam Sandler and director Adam Sandler and actor Adam Sandler comes exactly what he said you would get after he didn't win an Oscar for Uncut Gems.
That's it?
When Adam Sandler is snubbed at the Oscars, he sets in motion a horrible ritual designed to bring all of his movie characters to life. As the world is overrun by armies of Billy Madisons, Jacks, and Jills, is there any hope left for humanity? Starring Adam Sandler, Adam Sandler, Adam Sandler, Adam Sandler, Adam Sandler, and Rob Schneider.
Of course, yeah, Rob Schneider. I'm surprised Nick Swartzen didn't get in there.
And this movie's called Sandlergeddon.
Sandlergeddon. Yeah, I guarantee that would not get turned down by Netflix.
No, Netflix has like a 50,000 movie deal with him.
Yeah, whoever is in charge of Netflix, I hope they got fired or got returned to the mental institution that they escaped from, because
His last one that he made, though, David, was the most streamed movie of that month.
that doesn't mean shit. Like, a lot of people stopped to watch a car on fire on the side of the road. Does that mean it's a good thing to do? No.
But David, if you watch it, then that means you spent your precious movie time going, Adam Sandler,
whatever. But that's the thing. If you already own a Netflix subscription, then you've gained nothing. Like, Adam Sandler isn't bringing anybody in. He's gathering the people around who are already here to be like, look at my rotting corpse as I dance and sing for you, and you bankroll all of my vacations with all my rich friends.
Wouldn't that be the dream, though?
Yeah, but to be a notorious sellout, sure. Yeah, I mean, as long as you don't care what other people think, it's great.
Hey, that's what he did Uncut Gems. He was like, look, I'm doing this one good movie, and if you don't give me an Oscar, I swear to God.
Whatever. Like, and he keeps getting these. I remember getting hornswoggled into going and seeing Don't Mess with the Zohan. And, feeling like, when you're in the middle of diarrhea, when you're like, oh my God, soon, it'll be over soon. But while you're in it, it's like a hellscape. And I'm like in that hellscape waiting for the diarrhea to be over. And then Dave Matthews shows up in a bit part. And I felt so sad.
Zohan was better than the Love Guru.
The Love Guru was Mike Myers, though.
Yeah, I'm just comparing movies that came out in similar times.
Oh, for sure. But okay, no, I would disagree. I would say I would watch The Love Guru over literally any Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah.
But we just, Billy Madison ain't bad. It doesn't have a cohesive plot, that's to be sure.
But here's the thing. Just because something ain't bad doesn't mean it's good. Like, if it's, at best, you can describe it as it's not bad, it's a waste of my time. I don't think it's funny. Like, when I was in junior high, I saw why all the kids around me were laughing at it. Now that I'm old and I can drop the facade, I can tell you I fucking hate Adam Sandler movies, even the quote-unquote good ones. All right,
like
so...
Mr. Deeds?
Just like Mr. Deeds. So I probably don't have to tell you the title of mine. It's going to be an inside thing, so I'll just read it to you and I'll tell you the title afterwards. When Gordy Fustamatelli was sent to spend the summer with his Aunt Gina, he had no idea what he was in for. Moving from the country to the big city would be a big change for any kid, but Gordy isn't just any kid. When his parents decide to try and repair their failing marriage through a comprehensive sex pervert seminar, Gordy finds himself in the company of his hard-boiled Aunt Gina, who is also New York City's most promising rising star. Now, the unlikely duo have to face off against a ring of exotic animal smugglers operating out of the Red Hook docks, a strange cult offering blood sacrifices to an ancient figure called Mormo, and get Gordy's summer reading assignments done using the only edge they have over the bad guys, Gina's ass. Gordy doesn't know if his aunt's power is a trait passed down, but he'll have a lot of fun trying to figure it out. In NYB, a new New York, but a story of two butts.
It's fun. It's like a sexy three ninjas. Ship it.
It's a coming of age story, so it's going to be like, it would definitely be a Lifetime like gender and or sexuality comedy, because it'll be the kids shoving stuff up his butt with his aunt, realizing he doesn't have the power of the second sight through his asshole, but still likes stuff in his butt. And he learns a little bit about himself.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that he likes it at least.
So this would be the big screen premiere, though, of our Gina Fustamatelli Italian butt detective character.
Yes, I know.
So just for those of you who didn't realize, Gordy is her nephew.
Can we fit like a, oh god, it's something in the hooker,
Hobo and the Hooker,
and they have to, they're solving crimes with the chief.
that's the thing, like, one-off. I could spit out 12 episodes of a television show for Hobo and the Hooker. For a movie, you're gonna have like a huge 3x structure and stuff. Like, my go-to and the easiest was obviously Gina Fustamatelli. But I also toyed with that one and Adam Hubbard, the lobster ghost detective.
So here, since we're on Netflix anyway, why not have a Hobo and the Hooker 12 episode?
I bet,
separate into two 6-episode things, and then they make a guest appearance in the movie.
well, no, I bet we could probably squeeze 2 seasons of Hobo and the Hooker. If we get 12, let's say between 10 and 12, let's say optimistically and realistically, they give us 10 for the first season and 12 for the second, and then do like a Netflix original picture that's like 96 minutes, that'd be fine.
But Netflix seasons are so wild in how inconsistently large they are. Like, we watched all of the She-Ra, and it was like 10 episodes, then 4 episodes the next season, then like 17. Like, okay, cool.
Here's the thing. I am a sucker for like old-timey structure and all that shit. So I would do definitely, as annoying as it is, it still makes, the longer the wait, the sweeter the candy is at Halloween. So I would definitely release it weekly.
Okay.
Stick to a solid 22 minutes for Hobo and the Hooker. Boom, boom, boom. 10 episodes, 12 episodes. Casual, gradual build up. Then boom. Like, we've got all like the
22 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. I like a 22-minute to like 46-minute show.
Yeah.
You get over an hour, and I get antsy.
Listen, 22 perfect for a sitcom, 44 drama. 44 is procedural. 44 is your SVU. 44 is your long-winded Grey's Anatomy. 22 is your 2.5 Men's, your MASHes, your whatever comedy you want. So
MASH feels longer.
how dare you? I love MASH. So first,
I don't think I've watched it since I was a kid.
I watch it as often as I can. But anyway, first season of Hobo and the Hooker. This isn't even about Gina Fustamatelli anymore. But first season of Hobo and the Hooker, 10 episodes. We'd get first like 3 episodes are dedicated to, like, did you watch Haunting of Hill House?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so you know how basic.
We're only a little bit through Bly, so don't spoil that.
I'm just basically pointing out the structure. So in that, every episode is focused on a different character.
Yeah.
But it's telling the same story. So I think for Hobo and the Hooker, I say we give the first 3 episodes to character development, but no, let's make it 4. So we rotate. First one's about the chief. Second one about Hooker setting her up, or Hobo setting up Hooker, and also the chief. So now we're going to like, so yeah, first, we'll just stick with 3. First 3 episodes of the setup, then adventures. We get a little bit deeper in the second season, and then we'll go really dark in the, still funny, but dark in the movie.
Of course.
So, Krista, do you have a movie you want to pitch?
Yeah. Let's preface this with I misunderstood the task at hand.
I would like
These
to.
aren't super funny.
I would
at
write
all.
this in stone. First rule of the show: if you do literally anything, it should be funny first.
Well,
We can make it funny.
Sure, you guys can make it funny. Scarlett Jones was not just an ordinary woman. She was a heist master.
Okay.
For 15 years, her and her crew have been flawlessly heisting various museums, banks, and jewelry stores, but this would be their most difficult of them all.
I was a yeast beaster.
Gross.
Oh my.
Black opal is one of the rarest gemstones known to man, located in the mines of Lightning Ridge in Australia, but it's not just any ordinary black opal that they're on the lookout for. Their plan is to take the Aurora Australis, the darkest and most expensive black opal around, located at the Museum of Australia.
Can I first note I would like to make, since we're in
Sure.
Australia, can we use the Rescuers Down Under as sidekicks?
I don't see why
no,
not.
but I don't think that not Matis Yahoo. Shit, who's the guy?
Matis
We're
Yahoo.
infatuated with him.
Who?
Yahoo Serious.
Oh, Yahoo Serious.
We can use him. We can use the guy who played Crocodile Dundee. I don't think he's dead.
Paul Hogan?
Yeah.
No, he's definitely not dead, but I guarantee if you Google him, he looks...
Terrible.
I don't care what he looks like. If I wanted a handsome Australian, I get the Hemsworths.
Right, but my problem is, Paul Hogan, white people... Out of all the races, white people age the worst, and of all the white people, I feel like Australians and Europeans age the worst.
That's one because they're too moist, the other because they're too dry.
Maybe that's it. Yeah, maybe that's it. Like, Paul Hogan is just drying out like an apple on the back porch, and everyone in the UK is just like a soggy bowl of oatmeal. I don't know. Weigh in the
You say that
comments
to
section.
Dame Judi Dench's face.
It's hard
Duty
because
Dench.
it keeps falling into that bowl that she has to hold under her chin.
Ugh.
All right, keep going, Krista.
But then, just as their plans are about to be executed, someone from Scarlett's past rears their ugly head and causes chaos. Will their heist be a success? Will they even make it out alive? And that's the end, because I didn't know how
Crocodile
to
Dundee
end it.
3.
Yeah, I think if this is going down under, we should at least, not that we need one every year, but it's been a while since we've seen a nice mix of live action and animation, like hand animation that doesn't suck.
Like
And I'm-
Pete's
Osmosis
Dragon?
Jones?
And I'm looking at you, new Tom and Jerry film in the works that's sure to suck. Like, obviously it's going to suck. Just admit it. Like, you know why some B movies are good? They are not necessarily self-aware, but they are legitimate in what they are trying. I
Yeah,
think
and see, that's my problem with a lot of movies is that they're like, hey, look, we're a B movie. Like, no, that's not the way this works.
right. When you become self-aware, it's no longer good. I think, but here's the thing. Our problem is the technology has gotten so good that they can get the 2D animation that looks so janky and terrible when we were kids to look relatively good, like seam wise, like they blend well. But that's not what you want. You want like a nice, like, oh, whoa, like characters reacting to something they're not sure of in the space. And
So-
that's the charm, I think.
I know it's not a 2D reaction film, but the last one that I saw that was good, Dave, was Sonic. Sonic the Hedgehog was not a bad movie. It was charming. It was like Jim Carrey was actually Jim Carrey in this instead of being new Jim Carrey.
Right, but here's the thing. Those movies to me have a huge asterisk. Like it's like this. I know that they said that they found an impartial jury for OJ, but that is a lie and they are full of shit, because if you lived anywhere on planet Earth when OJ got set up for allegedly murdering Nicole Brown and what's his nuts, like, how did you find someone who was like, no, I've never heard of OJ and I don't think it'll affect me at all, because I don't think, are you fucking kidding me? So the fact that Sonic had such a traumatic beginning with that awful
Very
face
much so.
and really, I think that was in the end a winning strategy, because if you decimate everyone's expectations of a thing and then be like, oh, maybe it won't be so bad and get them in, and it delivers in any way above the disaster you think it is, you'll be like, oh yeah, whew, did it.
But right at the beginning of the pandemic, we had an opportunity to buy a bunch of movies. I'll tell you what, Onward, good. Sonic, good. Cats?
Not good?
Well, David, a lot of it looks
Strange.
like those reface memes that you make.
Oh yeah, I'm surprised at the quality that Free App delivers when I hold it up to Cats the movie.
I will give you this though. That movie, as you're watching it, you're like, why is this movie the
thing?
horniest thing that anybody's ever made? And it's not
Ooh.
selling horniness to anybody in particular. Whoever wrote it and acted in it, you should be
Right.
ashamed of yourself for making a
That's-
movie that's supposed to be a fun musical, and it is instead a hump fest.
Here's what
Oh boy.
right now that's the thing. When you fetishize and when you glamorize something that is beneath us or something that like it's weird, it walks the line.
They
like
crawl around, man.
Yeah,
It's
like-
the way.
I don't understand how, like, on Broadway, you put on a cat costume and you run around purring and trying to lick your own nuts, and it's like, oh, high art. The movie shows us, like, it basically removes all the artifice and it shows you, like, here's what you are watching. If you strip it down, like, let's say you're just watching a cartoon of these cats do these things, it shows you exactly what you're watching and you feel sick because you're like, is this what I've been watching? Like, it's not the source material that fucked you up. It's what you're, like, because you had to look past it and be like, ew, this is weird. So maybe you focus on the story and you think, oh, the story's bad too. And then you realize, oh, wait, like,
This whole thing is
people
bad.
love.
Music was good.
Yeah.
I like the music. I saw the musical on Broadway. a
Can't
long
can't
time
fault
ago.
it there. Andrew Lloyd Webber, for whatever reason, can write a good song. However, fetishizing animals, I will always have a problem with. I know we're all accepting all races, creeds,
But here's the thing,
nationalities.
David, they weren't fetishizing the animals. It's just they just had the actors crawling around like.
Yeah, you don't have to fetishize anything like that. When you have a bunch of actors essentially in skin tight bodysuits and they're all curvy as fuck rolling around, and
Also, Idris Elba.
also Idris Elba. And what's his name? Not
Gandalf.
Damien Fleming. What's his nuts?
Yes.
Yeah. Gandalf.
Ian McKellen.
Yeah, that's his nuts. Damien McKellen.
Damien McKellen.
So whatever. Okay. What I'm saying is, Krista, punch up the script with some 2D like adventures from down under.
Yeah,
Like,
Kangaroo Jack.
Get the no, like the rescuers from down. I'm
the
not.
mice.
I don't want any cheap, shitty Australian piece of crap, Andy. We want like the legitimate license.
I think the people who voiced the rescuers are dead. Wasn't it Zsa Zsa and shit, not Buddy Allen?
Well, let me ask you this: Can I find a piece of media produced in the last? Well, since the first guy who played Pooh died, has anyone played him since? We can find someone, and it was
Probably.
Bob
I mean,
Hope. Bob Hope.
Bob
was
Hope.
yeah, and Zsa Zsa Gabor.
Zsa Zsa.
I'm saying, like, Rescuers Down Under is a perfect. Plus, everybody loves that accent.
Mm-hmm,
Get a nice trained monitor lizard like he had.
I want to get
Oh, yes.
Joe Manganiello. If he could be the dude that comes along or the person that comes along to cause chaos, I'd be fine with that.
Oh, could this be like Rescuers, the new batch, where it's the kid of the two other rescuers?
The new badge. There's something about like I don't know why we as a species and me in particular, if I get involved in a character, like I like a character, I don't want the story to continue with a lesser version of them, i.e. a family member. Like, let's say my favorite book series, when I'm reading that, if it started making rumblings, here's what happens and what ruins every series. Somebody falls in love and somebody has a kid. That is the death of a good series because it happens literally all the time. It happened in Friends, it happened in Frasier, it happened in Cheers. Every time someone falls in love, like the will they won't they is over, it's over. So in my series, when these two characters had spent 17 books being like, no, we can't, suddenly now are like, yes, we can. Oh, and here's a kid that was actually cloned, but we'll call it a mulligan and we'll raise him. I was like, oh my God, it's all over. But in the next book, it's like, oh, well, that's done. And we sent the kid off to a boarding school. So we'll wipe this sweat
Bye,
off our brow.
kid.
Like, handled magnificently.
Just read the Wheel of Time series, where the will they won't they is with 3 women, and they all end up being his wives.
Yeah, whatever the case may be, but that's the thing. The will they won't they needs to be there, because the second they do, like when Ross and Rachel got together, it was like, okay, you did it, now what?
You did it.
Then-
You really
then
did it.
Then like the runner up, like the second place trophy was Ross and not Ross and Chandler, Chandler and Monica.
Ross and Chandler.
Yeah,
That's
that
what I was
gay
waiting for.
episode with Ross and Chandler. And that gay wedding. Oh shit. All right. Andy, I guess you're giving us your next movie.
I guess I'll do the description first.
Okay.
When the rapture happens, the world is in chaos as thousands of people are disappeared to their final reward.
It's another
But
Armageddon.
God didn't count on one thing: a bleached blonde bitch who isn't satisfied with her service. Watches Becky, Ellen DeGeneres,
Oh.
complains her way through the armies of Satan worshippers, angels, and even the Son of God himself to complain to the universe's manager. But will a loudmouth and overtly racist comments be enough to save us all in Karen Saves the Universe?
But you said her name was Becky.
Yeah, but I couldn't give her that's just it's still a Karen.
Yeah.
I looked up synonyms for Karens. A Becky is a younger Karen. I know what you're saying. Ellen isn't there, but I needed a celebrity that has a bitchy personality.
Right. I would have just locked in on the Karen, even though Karen is in the title. Like, that's the touchstone. What about Karen's Inferno, where she goes with who would be the Virgil to that Dante, I wonder.
We need somebody that's bitchy.
Right, but like
What about-
old school bitchy and dead.
Oh.
Oh, shit. Who wrote The Importance
Joan
of Being
Rivers.
Earnest?
Oh, I don't know. Who did
Oscar
write-
Wilde.
Oh, okay, yeah, the original Karen, I suppose.
The original catty bitch.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll have Karen being led by Oscar Wilde through hell as she just like bitches every like weird figure out. Not
Are there
for,
supposed to be black people in hell? I want your manager.
not for nothing, but I would watch literally any number of characters get slotted into that and go through the same formula. I could watch any character. I could watch a cowboy and an Egyptian walk through Dante's hell, and it would be great every time.
Could we pair the cowboy with somebody else?
Dude, it could be whoever. I don't care. But the moral of the story is like the beauty of that story isn't necessarily the characters walking through it. It's all the weird shit they would see, because hell is tailor-made, I think. This is my inference from the Inferno, is tailor-made to show you all the shitty people that you saw in life, or the ones that you knew, to maybe give you a heads up. So I think that, because it cannot be just a coincidence that Dante runs into literally...
I mean, it definitely is.
It can't be. 100% of the people he stops to talk to in all of hell are just the people he knew on Earth that happened to have died recently.
That's because Dante was a miserable prick.
No. No. That's a machination of hell. I think hell cherry picks and puts the people that you know on your path. So you put a
So
cowboy.
it's like a choose your own adventure.
Yes, kind of. So a cowboy and Egyptian, let's say it's like Butch Cassidy and Ramses III. Like Butch would see the Sundance Kid, or he would see, Bat Masterson, or whoever contemporary would end up in hell.
Yes,
And
Batman.
Ramses would see whatever Egyptian figure he would see, whatever's relevant. That's a brilliant idea. And an endless number of sequels could be squeezed out of that.
That's true.
And I feel like if I look up books based on Dante's Inferno, not books, movies based on Dante's Inferno, I'm going to get 1,000,000 that are just crap.
Oh, yeah. Since anything that's compelling that's in the public domain has been basically like, those, you know them because you brought them up. Those basically those towel hand dryers. It's just one circular towel.
Yeah, the awful infinity towels.
Yeah, the infinity towel. The public domain material is an infinity towel, and its attendants and/or congregants are just an endless stream of asses holding their holes up against this towel as it spins.
Fun.
But whatever. Seriously, more often than not, something is in the public domain has 1,000,000 to 1 shitty to good things. So what I'm saying is you and I can reverse that by maybe one.
Yeah,
Possibly.
making like the cowboy Egyptian Dante's
Yeah.
Inferno.
But that, out of a hat, anything goes.
Mhm.
And, famous people obviously would be our go-to. I wouldn't just pull some random cowboy. Like, I'm not going to pop
Buzz
in.
Aldrin.
An astronaut and Jackie O.
But wouldn't it
Kyo
have
was
to be
there.
people that are shitty people?
No, because Dante wasn't a shitty person. He just got lost in a wood.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And pretty much there was a lot of people in Dante's Inferno that weren't shitty people, but Dante didn't like them.
Yeah, and that would be the thing too. There's plenty of room for slamming people that didn't deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, you would need the only dynamic that you would need to slot in is it's like any good SVU episode. You got Olivia, you've got Elliot, you've got the chief. The only thing that changes is who found a pube in what. So all we would have to do is just be like, our walker through hell has to be a contemporary to whatever, and he's led by someone who died 1,000 years before he did, or 400 years, or whatever. Case closed. 100 episodes at least. So my next one is a documentary. Okay, so the title isn't going to make a difference whether you hear it now or later. So the title translated from its original language is "Downed by the Kicking."
Okay. Football.
No one knows the limits of human suffering as intimately as Horglot Chenskinsky Flort.
I've written a name I can't read.
Right.
I
He typed it.
practiced it for a while and still didn't get it.
Chinglinskiskort.
In this thought-provoking documentary film, Horglot delves deep into the human capacity for agony, pushing each boundary of mortal endurance to its breaking point. Over the course of 90 minutes, a, quote, strange foreigner of dubious origin, Vanity Fair, gets kicked in the nuts once a minute. You won't be able to control your own reflexes as this poor man has his genitals destroyed, says Taintric Gucheski of the Chicago Stones Gazette. By minute 3, I was enthralled and held a steadfast captive by the mixture of anguish, woe, and defiance that played in concert over the sweaty features of this poor man.
Big movie pack.
Raves Hard and Schwitty of the Portland, quote, newspaper. Finally, a film that strips bare the most primal of emotions and delivers them in such a succinct and eloquent package was something your fat ass mama wrote on the fridge in her magnet poetry. So that's my, it's basically this crazy foreign guy decides to get kicked once in the nuts, once a minute. Every minute for 90 minutes. And we watch him for every step of that journey. We have a quiet, tall, blonde German man wearing a very nice Doc Martens shoe. And our documentarian, now let me set the scene, obviously.
I thought maybe it'd be different people with different sorts of shoes.
No, it's a very stripped down sort of minimalist feature. It's a whatever. We're going to shoot on 35 millimeter, have a nice 28 whatever millimeter lens, nice and wide. White background, maybe a chair for incidentals. However, what we have is a young man in a white, like a white sort of, all those, I don't know why they didn't sell them like this in the 80s, but everyone had them. When you take a sweatshirt and cut like the bottom 8 inches off and then you cut the sleeves off, so it's basically like a woolly
A weird vest?
Yeah.
A Johnny Karate vest.
Yeah, Johnny Karate vest. So our foreign director comes out in his Johnny Karate vest and like a pair of, dungarees cut off at the knees. And he's got like long stringy blonde hair and one of those weird foreign Nordic mustaches that's super wispy that you really need to see in the right light to really get. And he explains what's going on. And the German guy says nothing during the whole thing. He's just in there, nice button up white shirt, slacks. And, they turn to one another and he goes, whack. And then, the camera comes off the tripod and we go all around focusing on all the movements this guy makes as like the feeling of getting kicked in the nuts happens over and over and how each experience changes this man over the course of 90 minutes.
Well, yeah, eventually his balls are jelly and he can't feel anything.
Right. It's
Yeah,
all numb.
I'm telling you, no one would ever do this. However, I would watch, if this was on Hulu, I would watch it 100%. It would be in my favorites. I
I
might go
thought it was
back
going
to
to say
it.
100 times.
Oh,
100
100
times.
times. Yeah. Like I love a good documentary, and if I can latch onto a good one, I will watch it 3 or 4 times. And if a man with an accent
Loves a
wants to-
woman.
well, and if a man with an accent wants to get kicked in the nards repeatedly to, for art, I
You
would
have
watch
shown me. No, I made him Norwegian. You have shown me again the pain of having my nards kicked.
it. That's on Nordic at first. Yeah, so there you go. My downed by the kicking is the rough translation. I still don't know where the director is from. Never decided. That's why
Oh, it's shit. The German guy with the voice that everybody loves.
Werner Herzog?
Yeah, Werner Herzog.
Oh, he's too old to get kicked in the nuts. Oh my
Oh, no,
god.
but he's the director.
Oh no, this is like a direct, like the director is the guy
Is
getting
the
kicked
guy.
in the nuts. Like this is his vision.
Somebody from Iceland. They have a nice accent.
Oh, so either Nordic or Slavic. I'll take either because they both are relatable enough, but have just enough weirdness in their culture to be like, that's a little bit weird.
Ugh.
And you'd expect, like, if someone were to put together a documentary about getting kicked in the nuts in America, you would be like, oh, it's a Jackass movie. If someone does it in like Europe, or if someone does that in like whatever, like Eastern or Western Europe, I don't care which, you'd be like, oh, that's art.
Yeah.
America, it's like for laughs. Europe, it's art.
It depends on where you get it in America. Like if it's a lower class person filming in black and white with the camera stuff that they could cobble together.
But still, like nobody, if you're working that hard, you're not spending that time getting kicked in the nuts. It's not going to be commercialized over here. Like, I don't know. There are some things like if you maybe that'll be a game we'll play one day. Is like we'll say a word and it's got because whatever. Well, I'll work with this off air. We don't have to worry about this now. But that I'm gonna have to work about that later. Okay, so Krista, what's your other movie?
Okay. For years,
Okay.
for years, Sunset Ridge has been a go-to for many couples looking for some alone time, but also for disturbing disappearances.
Before you go on, here's my question. There's got to be, when you read, not that what you're reading is anything like this, but it reminded me of this. Whatever. Where the Power Rangers lived in Angel Grove.
Yes.
I have to imagine there's got to be some family out there like named the Joneses, like Mike Jones of Sunrise Crest. And like there's just somebody out there who lives this generic, strange life. I don't know what I'm getting at. So
Me either.
I don't know
continue.
either. The
All
generic
right.
strange life.
This
Yeah,
of a place.
I lost it
Uh-huh.
because I was trying to figure out what I was trying to say with the first metaphor, and then I lost it.
Okay. Once a month, a couple goes missing from
Period.
this
Oh.
lover's cliff. Police have no evidence pointing to the causes of death,
Is this an X-Files?
as there have been no bodies recovered, just cars left abandoned at the top.
Well, how do they know they're dead?
Well, it's just assumed. There's a laundry list of missing persons cases, many of which going cold and being forgotten.
I'd like to talk to your manager.
Many.
Month after month, and they're going cold? Like they have a shelf life? They
It's
just
been
drop it?
happening
evidence.
for years.
Oh.
So, and they have no evidence. Many theories and myths have been thrown about with stories of Bigfoot, ghosts, and other beings, one of which being a lonely woman
ghosts.
seeking revenge on happy couples.
Here's my second question. Like in movies like that where they have like, let's say Pet Sematary is a nice touchstone for a lot of people, where there are people around who know what's up and they aren't afraid to like tell you, but in the most scintillating way possible. Like old what's his nuts, old Fred from the farm, where he's like, "Oh, that'll solve
Don't
all
go
your-"
up there.
Yeah, it'll bring your boy back to life and solve all your problems, but it'll be a fucked up mess.
I think that happens in Pumpkinhead as well.
Yeah, like if the goal is to keep the demon, the ghost, the ghoul, the whatever
The
it
Bigfoot
is,
ghost.
the Bigfoot, the vampire, the werewolf, ghost, whatever it is, if the point is to keep it at bay, don't put the cart before the horse. Don't say, hey, good news, there's dirt nearby that'll bring your dead thing back to life, and then backload it with, P.S. it's also cursed, as they're running off with a shovel. Or, here's the thing, just don't bring it up at all. Like, wait till... Here's what I would do. Here's what old Fred should have done. He said, oh boy, your kid's dead, huh? Oh boy, I'll see you in a year. And then in a year, when literally nothing can be done, the kid is rotted beyond, like, it's no longer savable. Then you say, well, there's an old Indian curse and there's a crazy shit up there and blah, blah, blah. Then you tell them in the proper order. What you don't do is reverse the story and tell them fresh off the kid's death.
We don't know that the pet cemetery can't bring back decayed children.
Well, right, but here's the thing. I think a year is enough for
time
them.
to grieve.
Yeah, number one, enough time to grieve. Number two, you're not going to do anything rash. When it's like your kid was just planted because he got hit by a truck because you, for some reason, live by an unnecessarily busy thoroughfare. And
Yeah,
you're the
that's
only
full of
house.
semis.
Yeah, nothing but semis? What? So if that's your deal, whatever. But here's the thing. If you're going to go nuts, the time to do it is right then, when the ground at the grave is still fresh. Like, if you're crazy and you want to claw in some dirt, it's super easy to get in that fresh. After a year, it's been packed by rain, by snow. No matter how crazy you are, eventually it'll wear off before you get 6 feet in. Loose dirt, a nut can get through. Remember that when you're writing a scary movie.
Mm-hmm. Allison and Richard are no strangers to Sunset Ridge. They'd been going there since they were teenagers looking to get some backseat privacy.
Finger blasting.
Not believing in the stories told. Years later, married with 2
Here's
children.
the thing. Why doesn't anyone, Krista, why doesn't anyone believe the stories? If people, like, they could literally point to these empty cars and the fact that no one comes back. Why is
Because everybody
it,
wants to get out of town.
in
Right.
these movies, no one
Everyone
wants to
that.
believe.
It's that place. And it only happens once a month, so people probably forget about it.
Here's what I would do. If I'm the mayor of this town, Sunset Ridge,
That's just the place.
I would keep the beaches open.
what's the town?
I don't know.
Sunset Valley. Let's say it's
right.
Sunset Ridge, overlooking the town of Sunset Valley.
Sure.
I'm the mayor of Sunset Valley. I'd say,
Hello.
shit. I've been the mayor here for a long ass time. And once a month, someone goes disappeared up there and we got to haul their car back. I got an idea how to keep their asses out of there. We've got a whole lot of impounded cars from dudes jacking it up there who went disappeared, and we got to take their cars down. Take every car that was ever abandoned up there and park it in every available fucking square inch, so no one can go up there to finger blast. No one goes up there for BJ's. No nothing.
Oh no!
But the
You provided seating for finger blasting, is what you've done.
Shit. You're right.
And I never said that they take the abandoned cars back. They could just leave them there. You don't know.
Yeah, sell those at the local Hyundai dealership.
Or okay, so maybe
I heard
this.
a good guy who works there.
Maybe in the middle of town, you have just like a big parking lot that's exclusively reserved for the cars that people disappeared leave. So when the new asshole comes into
Sounds
town,
expensive.
no, you just pave a big thing. It's just flat Earth. You just say, okay, there it is. It's a big flat thing. They say, well, put the other car on there. So that way, when the dumbass kid and their friends are rolling through town in their old Studebaker, driving across America to find their fucking selves, and the old waitress says, I wouldn't go over there because everybody gets disappeared. And then they go, nah, you don't know shit, old bitch. She can
I
point
want
to
a finger blast.
she can point to the lot across the street that has everything from like a 23 Studebaker all the way up to a 93 Ford and be like, those are the people who went to finger blast a loved one and never came back.
Sure, David. Yeah, that worked with everybody who ever went to Dare, too. Oh, I'll never do drugs. Oh, I'm never going to go up to the spooky ridge to have scary sex.
I'm not saying it's going to be 100% prohibitive. However, it will provide evidence and credence to the critical. I'm not saying you're not going to stop morons from getting killed by murderers while fucking. I'm saying if they don't deserve it, they'll look at that lot, see all those digits that could have been dropped, and think, nope, I'm not going to go out the same way.
Blow up the cliffside.
Yeah, blow up the cliffside.
Um,
Cope and marsh it. Say there's a fossil in there.
Years later, married with 2 children, they had a babysitter and were
Al
finally
Bundy.
having a night to themselves. Deciding to end their night on their old stomping grounds of Sunset Ridge, things don't seem to go as
Stomping
planned, and the
grounds?
couple soon realize they aren't truly alone. And the
Because
title
now
is
she's pregnant.
Curse of the Sunset Maiden.
This is
the-
like it's like the town that feared sunset.
Sure.
Yes? Question. Is that a vampire movie?
No, it's about a real life murder in Texas. So like
Yeah, the vampire.
yeah, like the real vampire. The movie is the town that feared sunset because this person was stalking and murdering all these people, and it went on for a long ass time. However, the murders stopped, and it didn't go on for like years. But here's the thing. I say that eventually you'd be like, stop going up there or we'd solve the case. But there are so many murderers that are out there still that are like the Zodiac. We don't know. He's still literally.
No, it's Ted Cruz.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Ted Cruz.
Right.
Thank you, President Trump, for putting that myth.
Employing the Zodiac killer.
Yeah. Employing the Zodiac killer and calling his wife a hog. Oh boy. Anywho, yeah. So whatever. What I'm saying is, it's one thing if it's a murderer, and it's one thing if it's supernatural. If it's supernatural, do we find out what it is, Krista?
Curse of the Sunset Maiden. Yeah, it's a
Okay, it's like
lady.
a La Llorona thing then. So she comes in Wales.
yeah,
like
like
Lover's
I
Lane.
thought. I don't know
Banshee.
why I thought of like a siren for some reason, but not because she's not near water.
Oh, well, yeah.
But just some kind of thing that
there's
curses.
tons of mileage in a spurned lover's ghost. Like, I feel like 9 times out of 10, every time you hear a ghost story, it's always like someone who got fucked over and killed themselves because of love, or got killed because of love, or whatever. So
I was thinking she got like cursed by some, I don't know, like a Native
Oh, a witch
American
kissed
or a
me.
witch or something, and she was cursed when she died to do that.
So it has
forever.
nothing to do with the fucking teenagers. She predates them.
Well, yeah, it's been happening for a really long time.
Oh, because see, I thought it was tied in because what the arc would have been, the big reveal at the end is like, why Lover's Lane, why Finger Blast Ridge, like the thing would be, it would be because she was the first victim and the only legitimate murder victim. Like, let's say her boyfriend at the time like was nuts and snapped and killed her with a hatchet or whatever 50s 40s murder
Right,
happened.
mid finger blast too.
Yeah,
Weird.
mid finger blast, he snaps and hatchets her. And all the murders or disappearances after that are her ghost snatching away. Because here's the thing about ghosts. When you die, you start killing indiscriminately. Like, if you're wronged, in most ghost stories, if you're wronged by a certain person, place, or thing, you can literally point to that thing and be like, I was spurned by a man, I was spurned by a woman, I was killed by a thing, or a guy, or a general, or I was killed in a war. When you die, it's just like you go blind with rage and just kill everybody and everything in your path.
Sure.
So maybe that's the thing. You, not you as the person, the character, maybe that's her thing. The only legitimate murder victim is now disappearing and murdering couples who come up there because she starts with the dude and her lust for blood doesn't stop her in time before she kills the chick too
Sure.
and spirits them away. And she even gets the random odd single dude coming up there to jack it to an old playboy.
Sure. An old one.
Yeah, and she takes his magazine
Now
too.
that they're not in print anymore, all Playboys are old.
Yeah, I mean,
True.
he's not coming up there with an iPad. There's no Wi-Fi.
He's got a hotspot.
With the movies out of the way, we've got a couple of video games to push. So, I want to lead with this one because I think it's probably the one that's most legitimately viable and the one I'm most excited about. So, I'm gonna save the name of the game for after because I don't want to ruin it. So, in this game, take the reins of your life with a firm grip as you manage and grow your own small business. It's 4 a.m. in the city, and people are in need of your services. Take to the streets in your 1994 Ford Aerostar minivan, driving out of the big city where you live to the suburbs where your customers dwell. Manage your supply of bags, maintain your equipment, and keep your customers happy by doing the things they are too good for. Picking up dog shit.
I thought it was a weed dealing game. I was going to say, David, there's one of these already.
Nope, this is even better. Can you collect all the shit in town while dealing with angry homeowners, pesky neighborhood kids, boozy, horned-up stay-at-home moms, and the fallout of holiday pet diarrhea?
I got your shit right here.
An incredibly realistic physics engine will deliver an unparalleled experience in a vibrant world complete with day-night cycle. Other hazards include getting shit on yourself, running out of gas, or contracting a manageable yet costly STI. Editors hashtag this game is in early access and has been for 3 years. But imagine that. Like, let's think, like...
What's it called?
What's the name?
Oh, sorry. It's Uncle Dave's Pet Poop Pickup and Waste Removal Simulator.
Uncle Dave's.
Yeah. So imagine graphics and tone a la the coin game, a la, bus simulator, truck driving simulator. Those
See,
sort of...
David, I just saw a simulator today. You were looking for them, and it's the home renovation simulator.
I've seen that one, and I'm not sold, frankly, and we can talk about it later why, but I think that with a compelling narrative of a man trying to start a small business where you pick up dog shit and you can get it on yourself and track it into your neighbors' homes, or you're dealing with these customers or what have you, and you're also dealing with maintenance of your van, getting gas, like a full-blown open world type simulator a la the coin game where the focus is to pick up dog shit, but there's so much more.
There's so much more shit.
Yeah, sometimes you got to write alimony checks. Sometimes you got to run to
Why? Why am I
Payday
divorced?
loan place.
you're role playing as a guy who's trying to rebuild his life after his divorce. Like his 12-year-old fat son doesn't want to talk to him anymore because things got weird after that men's seminar up in Utah.
Okay.
I'm just saying, I would love, especially now that everybody should, and I am staying inside and not getting out and doing things outside and interacting with people more and more. I'm turning my attention to these realistic life simulator or activity simulators.
Make you feel like you're...
Not only because they make
I'm
you
a
feel
real
like
dog poop picker.
not only that, but like when you go into these games, they're a familiar environment that is regulated. Like when we walk around downtown, Krista, there's always wild cards. There could be trash. There could be annoying people playing loud music. But in these games, these life sims or activity sims, like it's like having Disneyland to yourself.
Yeah.
Someone's always there to clean up the garbage, keep everything clean, keep everything as it should be, but
Unless
they're never
you're
seen.
that person
Well, no, we don't care about them.
No,
that has to do it.
Yeah, we don't care about them though. You're the patron of Disneyland. You're not the lowly janitor living under the Matterhorn.
Hey, janitors are people too.
I know, but I don't want to see them.
Hey,
Not in my theme park experience, or if I have to,
I want to see him cleaning up that vomit.
But Disney does it right. They got like that's what I'm saying. Like in a video game, all the X factors are taken care of. So even though all the other interactables in the coin game are little robots, like the environment's still cool. Like there's no like stakes.
Mm-hmm.
You're never gonna like fall into the gutter and hit your elbow and pull it up, and there's like a needle sticking out of it. Now you have HEP. Totally safe. That's what I'm saying. A real life simulator where you wake up, you make a pot of coffee, you get into your Ford Aerostar, and you just start picking up dog shit, throwing it in the back of the van. You're driving down the road
What's
fast
in
as you
the
can with the
van?
windows open because of the smell inside. But you're a hard worker. That's a game I want to play. A working
This guy
game.
is not a good planner.
Hardworking Americans. Well, no, obviously no one plans to have their life fall apart when they're 42 because of a divorce, but it happens.
He needs a life planner.
This
Notebook.
game, is that scenario. All right, Andy, what do you got for me?
Well, okay. As time ticks down until all the pieces of Eden are found and the war between assassins and Templar heats up, step into the shoes of Duncan, a 1980s department store manager who has no idea he has assassin ancestors. Play over 100 hours of shelf-stocking, price-slashing action as Duncan goes about his daily life, completely oblivious to the secret truths around him in Assassin's Creed Duncan.
Listen, this, is all very hilarious and whatnot. I would love to play that game. If Ubisoft could throw, whatever, they must throw $500 million into an Assassin's Creed game. Mm-hmm. Throw a quarter of that into a game where you're flashing back into a normal dude working in like a legitimate, perfectly recreated 1980s Dillard's. Yeah, sold. I'll buy it. Done.
And then
Holy
at the
shit.
end, it's like, oh, I found this thing in the back room. Is it important? And then
Yeah,
there's like flashback to the lady that's in the Animus, like, Duncan showed me the way.
Yeah, you literally have to plow through 100+ hours of like stock taking and shelf rearranging and holiday display management.
Oh, and the romance options.
Yeah, the romance options, like what food court, restaurant you eat at. And then, like, at the very end, you're, like, rifling through an old attic in the top of a Dillard's, and it's, like, this shiny thing. You're like, oh, and, like, bam, game over. Andy, funny, but still right up my alley. I would buy this game.
Sneak up on customers to provide them with flyers and coupons.
Oh, my God, please. Let's say...
At this point, I've basically made, what is that Burger King game? Like the...
Sneak King?
Sneak King.
Yeah. Here's the thing, Andy. Take this game concept and turn it up to 11 and just put this guy, Duncan, make him a serial killer.
Why?
Because that would make this game awesome. By day, stocking the shelves. By night, have some fun gameplay where he stalks the streets of whatever, Chicago, Indianapolis, whatever, wherever this department store is. By day, he's like, oh yeah, I'll help you find that. And maybe he gets a difficult customer during the day. And in the night section, you can later mark him as a target and murder his ass. And you're not doing it to find Eden. You're not doing it to better humanity. You're just doing it because he's a fucking murderer.
God,
who
I think the reviews, David, which should not be great.
Can Ubisoft make another misstep bigger than the ones they've been making?
I
Whatever.
like Valhalla.
I mean behind the scenes. Like,
Oh. No, probably not.
yeah. And also Valhalla, I've not, whatever. I'll save my opinions until I play it, but if it's like any of the other cookie cutter ones that have come out, it's like whatever. Krista, do you have a video game?
Uh-huh. So the title needs some work. It's
Yoshi's Island.
Shit.
You're Yoshi and
damn it.
you're a lizard.
I named it the title Nightmare Fuel.
Okay.
I don't know. In this M for mature rating.
Oh.
In this psychologically thrilling game, you will explore the worlds of the most popular nightmares and try to escape them without being taken away by their demons.
Popular nightmares?
Well,
Well,
like
yeah,
the most,
in this world, the nightmares are ranked.
yeah, like the ones that everybody has their own fears and shit like that, but like
Like the falling dream that everybody has
Oh.
that I've never...
fears or phobias / nightmares, I guess, would be better.
Spiders?
I was
Yeah.
thinking, have you ever seen Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within?
No.
That lady could record her dreams, and maybe you put them up on YouTube, and you're like, these are the most popular nightmares. Counting them down, Casey Kasem.
Maybe, but since humans are pretty much all wired the same, it's like whatever. Everyone has those similar dreams, like where you die, or where you fall, or where you float, or where you whatever.
Yeah,
So,
this is
Your
like
penis is stolen by a leprechaun?
yeah, or your penis is stolen
nightmares-
by a
Nightmares
trash
as in
compactor.
dream nightmares and phobias, like that kind of shit.
Right.
Levels of arachnids, darkness, and underwater plague this game's memory. Players can also customize their own world with tons of nightmarish options and play with their friends in multiplayer mode. Will you be able to handle it, or will your nightmares get the best of you?
They might.
Yeah. I mean, all right.
I'll take it. I'll take 2.
Indie develop horror.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Very funny. I like it. But here, try this on for size. Andy, I know you're going to love this.
Well, sure.
So this is...
Usually this means it's going to be insulting towards me.
The teacher janitor.
This isn't necessarily insulting directly towards you.
Directly.
But I will tell you the name of this game. It is the Super Marino Brothers. So you flip it over and you read the back of the box. That's right, you slavering, predictable fanboy fucks. We here at Nintendo have done it again. And by it, of course, you know, we're releasing a reskin of an old game and telling you it's different. Control Dan Marino and his brother Keith through all the old, tired, worn-out levels you've seen thousands of times before. Grassland, desert, ocean, fire world, ice world. They're all the same and they're all here. What are all the enemies now? Do you care? No, it's bland and comforting. So you won't have to worry about the onset of those bizarre and confusing emotions competent storytelling can achieve. You obviously consume without a second forethought. So good news, you bought a game that just called you a fuck, you fuck. Super Marino Brothers on the Nintendo Switch.
It's made by God Please. I never had a childhood and I hate everything that reminds me of it. Lindblad Studios.
I played it as a child. I remember it as a child. And if I continued to play it, I wouldn't have the memories of it because it would be a long, unending string of the same shit.
Oh, it's published by Depressing Cynic.
I would rather play a game published by Depressing Cynic than to have one by the developer Blinded by Nostalgia. But hey, good news, Andy, they don't save Princess Peach because she is not one of Dan Marino's main squeezes.
How many squeezes does Dan Marino have?
Oh man, he probably fucked tons of models. So that's the thing.
Is there one in each castle?
Yeah,
He was on the Dolphins.
Yeah, that's the thing. He was on the Dolphins. You control Dan Marino and his brother Keith. Dan Marino
Keith
brothers.
Marino.
Yeah. So Keith Marino. So basically, at the end, it's not a castle. It's the Dolphins training facility. And when you get in there, there's always a hot biatch waiting with a towel in the locker room for you. Of
course.
And the sprite will be the same sprite. It's just we'll change the hair every time because you know
Yeah,
women are interchangeable, right? Because they're just trophies for men. It's the 80s, guys. We're making an 80s video game.
Ah, yes.
Is she giving him a sandwich when he walks into the locker room?
When it's 8-bit, it's Dan Marino and his brother Keith. They go to the dolphin training facility at the end of every level, and she's there with a beer and a sandwich, and he slaps her in the face. This is all 8-bit, mind you, so it's very, like, the graphic violence is going to be very downplayed, but he slaps her in the face, she drops the beer and the sandwich, and he goes, "I'm in the Dolphins," and then the next level starts. He never eats the sandwich or drinks the beer.
Oh, it's on the floor in the locker room.
Super
so.
Marino Brothers?
At the end of every level is the pile of sandwich and beer there that was dropped the level before.
Yeah, it's just a big pile. It's just huge. And then at the end boss is Einhorn. And you have to,
from the...
Yeah, you have to team up with Ace Ventura to make out with her until her boner pops, and then you punch it like a punching bag, and then you both eat a bunch of gum and throw up because, kissing a man's gross.
Yeah, and you have to plunger your face, I
You have to
believe.
punch in your face. Oh my God, that movie is not, the concepts in that movie have not held up well.
Looking back...
Looking back, no. However, Super Marino Brothers, good thing it's coming out in the, we'll probably squeeze it out in like 1993 because it needs to be on the NES.
Ah, we're time traveling.
Or, we'll release it on Steam current day, but it'll be NES style graphics. So all the racism and stuff we can say is like, oh, it's a hilarious callback. That's not going to happen.
I do like that we're assuming that Dan Marino is racist.
No, I'm just saying there's nothing sinister going on. This is like my sex horror hotel. I want this on the up and up.
Of course.
Where are we?
That's me.
Okay, go for it.
So mine is Tetris 3, Emotional Walls. It's Tetris as you've never seen before. Drop blocks, store blocks, and make lines as best you can as a therapist in the background tells you everything is going to be all right. Enjoy levels like I was never hugged as a child, repressed uncle memories, and anger management issues.
So let me ask you this. So am I understanding this right? To me, this reads as, in the background, there is the therapist talking your ear off. So are you making the blocks, but they're not disappearing? So you're building the wall?
Oh no, we're breaking down the walls, David.
Oh.
as you see.
Oh, okay. So the blocks represent your emotional baggage.
Yes.
Got it.
Can you get the high score and finally just be able to show emotions like a normal human being?
Wait, so this is just a plain old reskin where the blocks are now just labeled as like...
Oh no, the better you do, the more of a therapist session you get. If you're doing bad, she's like,
Wait, so she'll give you like legitimate advice?
Sure. If you purchase a subscription.
I don't know. This seems like... No, here's the thing. I like the idea of an interactive game like that because it's tested, tried, and true. Here's the thing. I think we spice it up just a little, and not only does the therapist dole out sound advice, but to cover our asses, we say she's not a therapist, she's a sex worker, and she also gets nude while she tells you the advice.
Why? No! With my subscription model, we hire real therapists, and you pay $15.99 a month to play Tetris, and if you do bad, you don't get proper therapy.
But that's the problem is there's nothing to bring them back. Like if the idea of Tetris isn't going to hit that addiction center, you've got nothing to fall back on. If you've got Tetris, great, that is an addictive game, but has a half-life. A nipple, however, has a very much prolonged half-life compared to a Tetris block.
You've taken my emotional breakthroughs and turned them into horny.
And therapy. Hey, listen, I
Horny
want every time
therapy.
someone gets an emotional breakthrough, they also have an underwear
Emotional
breakthrough.
boner.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to license Tetris to us.
You know, whatever. The dudes at Elorg seem pretty chill. Or, you know, but whatever. Andy, I'm just saying, like, when you start offering medical advice, you get into licensing and you get into like cover your ass style legal representation.
Oh, you have to agree to something beforehand.
You know, nobody reads terms and conditions.
Right, but that's the
Good,
thing. You don't have to. Like the catch-all is once you click that one tiny box after a mountain of text, you can blow your brains out, and we can be like, "They clicked. Sorry."
They clicked it. Also, we can't cancel their subscription.
Yeah,
Right.
well, they're as long as the card is active, they get constantly charged posthumously.
Oh no! Now this is becoming more terrible than a nipple. Go back to the nipples.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, there are a ton of games out there that entice you. You know, sex sells.
My game is called Yank It.
Yes. Wait,
Yank
so-
It with Tetris.
But your original idea was just called Tetris 3?
Tetris 3 Emotional Walls.
Hey, emotional walls.
and you're breaking them down.
Building them up and then breaking them down through therapy.
See,
Yeah.
my initial thought was much simpler. Like, instead of the walls disappearing like in original Tetris, because
But you build up emotional walls, so you're
Yeah.
a man-child.
you build up the wall, and by the time, you know, whatever the last piece hits, you're trying to block out your therapist. So,
Why? Why are we doing that? This is supposed to be a healing game.
oh, right. Yeah, no.
Just ignore your therapist.
But then, okay, so
Build these wall ups like you would in real life. and then do
here's
it in
the
real
thing.
life.
You can also tailor it to people because reskin the blocks. Like, let's say you have parental issues, or you have emotional issues, you have food issues. You can make those blocks food. You can make those blocks dongs if you're scared of whatever, penis envy
Yeah.
or whatever. Like, you want to do the Freudian thing.
Oh, I am scared of penis envy.
Yeah, if you're scared of penis envy, you can have a block shaped like a woman thinking about having a penis and what that would be like.
Yeah, this is very conceptual.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know what that, and it would have to look like a T, obviously, because we're going to need all the regular Tetris shapes. We can't go off the rails.
Yeah, the two Z's,
Yeah, the two C's.
the double L's,
square.
the straight, the block.
Yeah, the straight and the square, that's it. So yeah, conceptually, we're going to have to really... I'm not going to shoot this idea down, Andy, but it seems like it's going to need a lot of reskins.
All I'm saying, David, is that we can sell mirrors that give you a personal trainer, and they're not liable if the person gets injured in their home.
A mirror?
Haven't you seen those?
No.
There's like digital mirrors that and these things cost like $2,000 to start with, and then it's
What?
like $100 a month, and a personal trainer appears in your mirror.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they're basically just taking something that can be provided to you on a tablet, phone, TV right now and giving it to you via a mirror?
Yeah, they also have bikes that do this.
Oh,
Is
yeah,
that
I've
the
seen the bikes.
Peloton?
Yeah, the Peloton bikes.
But yeah, there's like a mirror thing that you can buy and set up, and it'll, oh, hello, today the temperature and all this is like, I'd like to work out mirror.
Listen, every fiber in my being wants to say this is the stupidest fucking thing ever. However, there is a part of me, a very real part of me, that wants these tactile experiences with an augmented reality type feel. Like
Yes.
if I could get a treadmill that also hooks up to a VR thing, I would probably ride it more because I would be in the comfort of my own home.
I got my VR headset right here.
Yeah, but I'm saying like if it can be tied to not just a game, like if I could tie it to like a learning thing, like you can learn to cook virtually or whatever, I'm totally down. But as of right now, it's all just games and experiences.
Yeah, and I hate experiencing things.
Well, not only that, I'm not against games or experiences. I'm against the huge price ticket to get in.
God, seriously. Like I saw that. I saw a commercial for it is the thing. Because when I worked at Target, we always had cable TV on. It was always Food Network. So it was always commercials for either food or exercise.
Right. Yeah.
And they had the Peloton bike ones where it was like, and if you pedal well enough, these people on this special newscast that we do every day will say your name.
Right. Like, I love that concept. I love the idea of going someplace virtually. Like, if you could put on a headset and look to your left and right and see a bunch of other people visually simulated and you feel like you're part of a thing, I would love that. However, I don't want to spend $40,000 on a fucking bike that is simply a bike with an iPad.
And that's the thing is like, I saw that mirror thing. I was like, that's pretty fucking cool. But I bet it costs way too much. And essentially it's a gigantic tablet on the wall with a camera.
And that's all it is like you're basically, you need a life coach if you are so stupid you buy a giant expensive ass mirror that brings you a life coach for a monthly fee.
But at the same time, I was like, that's a pretty cool thing if it wasn't like $2,000 and then $100 and $150
right, that's what I'm
afterwards.
saying. Like if you and I and we as a society like could, whatever. This will happen eventually, obviously, but like we can do like live shows and stuff right now. But if we could do it in such a way, like if I could buy a camera that could do like a VR and I could be like, okay, everybody put on your fucking Google, box, slide your phone in the fucking thing on your face. And it'll like you're sitting in like the studio with us or whatever. Like that'd be super cool. But it would like right now, since the technology is being handled so poorly and is so expensive, it's like, why bother?
David, fuck me. It's just called Mirror.
Oh, of course. Like the more expensive it is, the shorter the title has to be.
$1,500 or pay as low as $42 a month for the rest of your life.
Oh boy. With a deal like that, I can't see a reason not to. But whatever.
Oh, but the people in these photos look very attractive.
I bet they're they're all models. But here's the thing. I cannot get my hopes up at these concepts because I foolishly in the 90s watched The Lawnmower Man and thought, yep, VR's on its way. It's going to fucking rule. It looks a little shaky now, but by the time I'm an adult, it'll be fucking kicking ass and taking names.
I've got a Rift and it's pretty cool.
But it took a million years to get there. We're nowhere near where we should be.
So the one that I have, I had the PlayStation VR before this, and it kind of sucked because it needed a camera to track things. This one has cameras on the headset that track your hands in real time.
Which is great, but here's the thing. I am just a random dumbass who has very little to spend on something that will exclusively play a very small subset of software.
It's true. I need to get you over here to experience it, though. It's really fun.
Sure, but what am I looking like? Let's say I've got enough money to spend on nothing but leisure time like you do. How much is this thing going to cost me?
I don't have any children.
I know, but how much does this thing cost?
That one cost me
$400. All right, so that's not bad.
Well, I set aside money for like 6 months for this.
But I get that. Like, I understand everybody leads their own lives. However, at this point, it's still just a novelty. Like when the NES got released, it was a full-fledged thing that was offering stuff. It seems like all VR has right now are like concepts and or little tiny games because they're still working out all the kinks. I think maybe that's the problem is like, oh, how do we figure out how to blah, 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 because you want to be able to be immersed and move around in these games. I'm saying fuck that shit right now. Give me an experience where I can just sit down and enjoy something. I won't puke if I think I'm sitting down and I'm also seeing myself sitting down.
So the sitting down thing was the thing that did make me nauseous.
Whatever. You're
like if I'm up
weirdo.
and moving during a VR experience, that's fine. If I'm sitting down and the VR experience is moving, fuck the world.
Well, no, I'm saying like you would be sitting
In the VR.
in the
you'd be
VR,
sitting.
like on this in the perfect world, you know, you'd be sitting in your chair at home, a comfy chair. You'd put on your headset and you'd be in this studio or whatever. You'd be at a concert or whatever. Like so, you'd be already at an experience. Like, whatever, we can work out the tinkering with, like, the bike VR and all that shit later. But right now, maybe have, like, a learning resource or a thing where, like, you can jack into somebody's feed and sort of be there in a way or whatever. Like, there are so many things you can do without having to worry about moving around. But we're spending all this time creating these novelties that are, like, okay, we spent $400 and now here's a thing that might make you puke. Cool. If I wanted to spend $400 on something that's going to make me possibly puke, it better be very expensive food.
No, see, in that was with the PlayStation VR. Was they had and it wasn't very good. It was the Until Dawn like on track rail shooter.
Yeah.
I was like, well, this is the most terrible thing because it's making. The stuff that I have for the not Quest, because that's the standalone, the Rift is super nice.
Listen, I'm sure it's all first-party software, right?
No, I've played one Beat Saber is always awesome, and then Super Hot VR is cool, and Star Wars Rogue Squadron where you just that's one where I'm sitting in a chair, but it doesn't feel like I'm going to throw up.
Yeah, here's the thing: if we can find something that gets good third-party support and seems like it'll be worth a fuck, I'll give a shit. But if I'm spending an extra whole shit ton of money and all this extra junk that'll eventually just collect dust under my TV so I can imaginarily spray paint
that's your
something.
problem.
Well, I'm saying is like, give me something that isn't just like like a fireworks display that I can't do shit about. Like, let me tune into something, let me experience something, give me a Peloton bike, whatever. I don't know.
I'm losing you bad.
Is it because I'm too far above you money wise? I'm too rich.
Yeah, that's why I'm losing you. No, like your voice.
Listen, Andy, since we're losing connection and we've already broken the fourth wall, let's start wrapping it up. And you know how we like to do with a round of staff recommendations. Andy, what would you like to recommend our listeners? We've obviously been pushing movies and video games, and then we went on a long diatribe about VR.
Yes. As always, I would like to recommend, even if you don't have an Xbox One or Series X, which I don't plan on buying, I do the Xbox Game Pass for PC. And they put a bunch of games like I've wanted to buy River City Girls, which is just a beat 'em up for a while, but it's like a $40 game, and I wasn't going to pay $40 for a 7-hour beat 'em up, but paying $10 a month where I get all these experiences, and then they put that up, which now I'm able to play it, is nice. $10 a month, and I get a shit ton of games. Like every month, they're just like, hey, and Microsoft has said everything that's going to come out on Xbox is now going to come out on PC, and if you subscribe to this thing, you get it.
Right, so I don't know why they would do that. Like, they're basically like, hey, good news. We got a console, but if you're smarter than the average bear, you don't need to buy it because we'll be releasing everything for a PC that not only can you customize and build yourself, but will not be locked into for the next umpteen years.
People hate dicking around with PCs.
I get that, but it just, in an age where the margin for that is getting slimmer.
All I'm saying is that they do a lot of, like, they put up a bunch of bigger games, but they also put up all the indies that I'm watching. And I'm like, I'd like to play that, but it costs like $25 and it does. I don't know if I'd like it. And then it'll just show up on Xbox Ultimate. I'm like, oh, fine, fuck it.
I just need everybody, like, I understand everybody hates monopolies and everybody hates, like, oh, you know, it should be a diverse marketplace or whatever. But when everybody has their own exclusive thing that I have to pay an exclusive membership fee for, like, I want it all to be, like, Steam, I think, is the one-stop shop for me. Like, I don't need the Epic Store, I don't need the Xbox, whatever.
You do for some games.
That's the problem. Artificial exclusivity can eat my ass. Like, I will support an independent bitch 10 times out of 10 because they're like, hey, I'm on the grind and I'm trying to make my shit, and here's a game I developed. Microsoft says, hey, we've got a fuck ton of money and we're going to make something that's super glitzy and glamoury and you're going to want to fucking get it, but we're going to hold it hostage. Fuck that shit.
Microsoft has actually been putting stuff on both the Windows Store and the other thing if you want to buy it. But,
Right, but-
with the subscription, I was just looking at a game that I've been watching for a while called Monster Sanctuary, which is kind of a pixel Metroidvania and turn-based RPG monster trainer.
I would have thought it'd be the exact opposite of Monster Hunter.
Kind of. Where I was like, I don't really want to pay for this. The guy came out today and was like, yeah, I put it on the Xbox Ultimate because not only did they pay me a shit ton of money for it, but they paid me to help finish it and allowed me to release it on everything else.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's great. I would love to hear more stories. Maybe that's the thing. If I see more, maybe that's my problem. My sticking point is there are so many fucking streaming sources and seldom are they moderated for quality. Hence the Netflix Adam Sandler conversation from earlier. Somebody should have stood up and said, not on my fucking watch.
Got thrown out a window, that guy did.
Yeah, a moderated, curated, tailored,
Excavated. Hydromatic.
hydromatic, like
Ultramatic.
some where a person had to look and it had to pass a quality test. Love it. But it's quantity over quality. So if we can get some moderation, I'm fine with as many streaming services as you want. Fuck it. I don't give a fuck anymore, I guess.
I'm gonna recommend that Game Pass because it continually has the things that I want, like every month.
I'll look into it, but I cannot have my heart broken again, Andy. It's gotten so many cracks in it with video games and so on, like so many services that have been picked up and dropped. And
But like River City Girls, I'm enjoying playing it. I wouldn't have paid if I'd have paid $30-$40 for that. I would have been upset.
yeah, and that's
It's just a beat 'em up.
too. But that's the thing with when you get into this gray area of games as art, then you run into like all topics for another day. I'm going to recommend the classic Pierce Brosnan, Jeff Fahey movie, The Lawnmower Man. If everything had gone to plan, we would be living it up in a real ass VR simulated world. However, something went wrong and Pierce Brosnan fucked everything up for us.
Yeah, now we get random phone calls all at the same time.
Yeah, now we keep getting phone calls from Jeff Fahey. So if you want to watch a movie filmed at the exact moment where the concept of VR got fucked over a barrel, watch Lawnmower Man 1. One of my favorite movies.
I've never seen it.
Oh my God, it is so great. Like I saw it at probably the perfect point in my life. Pre-junior
but
high.
it's very cheap to rent, everybody.
Oh yeah, I have it on DVD. Like I have a hard copy because what if it disappears from a streaming service? I need to have access to it. I love it that much. Yeah. But you know, it's great. It's got monkeys. It's got what they think the internet will look like in the future. It's got Pierce Brosnan being broody in a basement. Wholehearted recommendation. It's got shirtless Jeff Fahey getting smarter and banging his way around a small town. He literally fucks a woman crazy.
Really?
Yeah. Listen, you need to watch it. He tampered in God's domain, except it was the internet was God.
Yes.
Literal Deus Ex Machina. Except he goes into the machine instead of coming out, not giving anything away. Krista, what do you want to recommend?
There's an app called Mist Play that I use.
Mist.
And so you play games and you get money essentially. So I play a couple games on there, and I've gotten like 2
Oh, it's
gift
these
cards
gift
for
card
Amazon.
apps. Okay.
Like you
That's fun.
you get your gems, and then you give it to them, and you give it back, and they give you a gift card.
Those are so weird. Like, when you hear about those experiments where they say, oh, we took a bunch of rats and we put them in a thing, and one thing was electrified, and they pushed a button and got a treat. Like, this is the full-blown human trial of, like, the rat in the cage with the sugar water. Except you're getting Amazon gift cards instead of pellets.
I mean, I do like Amazon gift cards, though.
It's strange what we'll subject ourselves to, what we think our time is worth. Maybe that's what I'm getting
My
at.
time is worth nothing.
No, that's what I'm getting at. Your time is worth, even if you don't want to believe it, your time is... Here's a baseline. Your time is worth exactly what you get paid at your job right now. Just carry that with you throughout your life. So
$90 for 6 hours. Please give.
Yeah, so let's say you look at an activity, and let's say, if I were getting paid for this, would it be worth it? And you say, yay or nay.
David thinks a lot like my mother-in-law.
Well, because your time is not free. Like, if someone wanted me to go do something for them, my time is not free. Like, when people
I
ask
would
me
say
for
thank you.
movement-
I love you, my friend. What would you like me to do?
It depends. The relationships will always play a factor. But, like, let's say someone's like, hey, help me move. I'll be like,
I don't like you.
Yeah, it's a case-by-case basis. But, whatever. So, guys, thanks for listening. If you want to get in contact with us or follow us, we're on Twitter. We're at FFOP Radio, or on Instagram at FFOP Radio.
A very active Facebook.
For a very active Facebook, we've got a group and a page. There's a bunch of links. There's a Discord if you're interested. Whatever. Like, if you're listening, you're probably one of the people already listening.
Buy a gingerbread house.
Oh, yeah. Christmas special coming up. I was going to plug that shit. So, remember, whatever. Hopefully.
Remember whatever.
Yeah, if you're hearing this, hopefully you downloaded it before the Christmas special. However, if it is after, you can still catch it in a rerun, so this plug is still good.
Yeah, still buy a gingerbread house after
Yeah,
Christmas,
it's probably
and then
on
send us the
clearance.
pictures, and we will post posthumously.
Yeah, people love holiday pictures in January. Nobody will ever turn down like a nice Christmas photo op in the middle of January when we're all sick of the shit, for fuck's sake. Anywho, guys, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on FFOP Radio. Funny
What do we have
outro.
nothing to fear but?
That's the thing. I still don't have an ending, so
And we're out of time.
here we go.
No.
See you next week.
For the try to
Fistful of Podcasts Radio.